Hi, it's Bill the Handyman. So today we're looking at an ice maker, and so this one actually a tragedy struck, and the valves, the water valves stayed on and flooded into the freezer. And so if your flappers aren't like right here pointing upward, then there's definitely a problem. Unless it's in the middle of a cycle. So on this one here, these are commonly found on Whirlpool Kenmore ice makers. There's a little cover, just pops, just slides right off. And so on this one here, one thing you can do in a pinch, rather than go buy a new one, is crimp this down here in the center, and then once you've got these crimped down, just take a small screwdriver behind one end here and then pry on the back of this cog. You can temporarily plant the screwdriver in here on one side, and then grab another screwdriver and then put it over here on this other side, and this wheel should slide off. And so know where your rakes are when I've got this one taped down so it doesn't move. So know where your rakes are, and then after you've crimped this down and pried off the wheel here, you'll see about 5 sets of little points that run on the inside of this wheel. And so there's sort of little brass, it's like a little brass timer, and there are little places on the back side of this where the little points rub up against. As the motor pushes the cog, then it activates different sets of points. And then when you pull this off, you'll see there'll be some points that are probably black or burnt. And you want to try and clean those up and maybe bend them out a little bit. You can take a magnifying glass and take a good look at them, and then just pop her back in and give it a try. So just be aware that these can be very hazardous, and normally I recommend you just replace the unit and or this piece here, which is whatever the control box, and you don't necessarily need the motor if it's still going, but if your water valve's stuck, then you definitely should get a new control. This piece here, the head control, the terminals that contact the cog here, and this small little control here is to adjust the amount of water that goes through each setting. And you can see there's little terminals here. This would be the neutral, this would be the motor, that would be the heater, that would be the thermostat, and let's see, that would be the line, and this would be the valve. So if you take a jumper and jump it from L to V, line to line to valve, you should have water come out of your spigot from your refrigerator into the tray. And if you don't, then you have a problem with your valve. And so, and these other ones are to test the thermostat and the heater, and you should get continuity between the line and the heater, the L and the H. And when it's cold, you should get continuity between the T thermostat and the line. And so you definitely would like to check the voltage, or excuse me, the line and the neutral. See if you have 110, 115 volts there. And so if you haven't got my how to make money in the successful appliance repair business, send $49.95 to Bill's Enterprises, P.O. Box 7021, Eureka, California 95501. Thank you.